Hello everyone, you are welcome back again to my channel. Thanks so much for stopping by, and I greet you all according to the time you are seeing this video, and I also wish you a very happy new month. So if today is your first time of coming across this channel or your first time of seeing my face, you are highly welcome. My name is Joy, and if you are a returning subscriber, I appreciate you. Please do me well to like, comment, subscribe and share my videos. So let's get started. In today's video, I'll be talking about the requirements for Provincial Nominee Program, also known as PNP, for different provinces in Canada. You all know that these provinces work differently, even though they do PNP, but there are some requirements that may not be common to all these provinces. So that's basically what I want to talk about. PNP is one of the ways you can actually become a permanent resident, either inside or outside of Canada. Nowadays, most people go through PNP routes because it is not easy to get a high CRS score when going through the Expressentry route. So people then go through PNP routes. That is not to say you will not still go through the Expressentry route, but PNP helps to, boost your score. It helps you to get additional score of about 600 points. Just imagine you getting 600 points and adding that points to the one in your Expressentry profile. You have a greater chance of being selected for ITA. Now, the question is, how does this PNP work for these different provinces we have in Canada? So I will just be reading out some things to you guys. Just know that you would increase your chances of being nominated if your job is high in demand. What do I mean? Those that are going through provincial nomination and your job is not really high in demand may have delay being nominated or selected. So there are some factors you really need to consider before you venture into PNP, because obviously PNP takes time, especially when your job is not in demand, when you are doing some licensing, when you can't get your proof of fund. So many things can affect your PNP application. So that is why you really need to pay attention to this part of this video. So like I said, your job really has to be in demand for you to be very, very successful in this PNP journey. Now we are never talking about the old immigration journey, because PNP is like a separate application on its own. We have the PNP Expressentry, then PNP non-Expressentry. I think I've talked about that on this channel. In order to be able to apply for your PNP, you need to meet with some requirements. The first is your CRS score. For you to apply for PNP, your CRS score shouldn't be less than 300. It should be like 300 and above, because it's part of the requirements. If you are having CRS of about 250, then there's no need. You just have to look for a way to boost the points in the Expressentry pool before you can then think of applying for your PNP. So that one is in general. Although some provinces may say you should have like 350, some may say 400, you understand? Some may say 380, some may say 370. So it all depends on the province. But then it shouldn't even be less than 300. Then, like I said before, you need to have a job in high demand. That way, you'll be quickly selected. So let me read what I have here. If you want to do the British Columbia PNP, then you need a job offer. Some provinces will tell you, yeah, you need a job offer, but it is not compulsory. But for British Columbia, job offer is a must for you to be able to do your PNP. Then the same for Newfoundland and Labrador. So when you are having these provinces in mind, just know that job offer is a requirement. Not just that it's only job offer that is a requirement. There are other requirements too, but These are the requirements that seem to be very difficult for some persons. So it's just good you know now, then you will know how you will go about it. Then the third one is Manitoba. For Manitoba, people have always said this that I don't have a relative in Manitoba. So that's the requirements peculiar to uh, Manitoba. So you may be already qualified for Manitoba, but there's this requirement of you having a close relative, not just a relative, a close relative that you have a strong connection with. But if you have a close friend there, it may give you like 50 points. But will 50 points really be enough for you? That's another question. So if you don't have any connection in Manitoba, then there is no need. Then the fourth one is Alberta. For Alberta, the requirement there is that you must be there physically to apply. So the people that really enjoy this Alberta Provincial Nominee program are those that maybe came in through temporary visa or students or even visiting visa sometimes. So they came in and they were able to apply maybe after meeting with other conditions. The next one I have here is New Brunswick. For this province, you will need to first create your Expressentry profile before going ahead with your PNP. But some provinces will tell you it is not compulsory to do it that way. That is, you can even get your nomination first before creating your Expressentry profile. But it's not like that with this New Brunswick. And again, having a good knowledge of French can give you advantage or can increase your chance of being nominated. And there's also this session or this program they do in this province. I think they do it all year round. If you happen to attend their information session, you may also have a very good chance of being nominated. So let me read what I have here. So if you have your Expressentry profile ready, then you have to look out for their info session, the one I talked about. And they do have occupation in demand list. So now let's go to Ontario. Ontario. So for Ontario, the way it's being done is that they pick candidates directly from the Expressentry pool. So what that means is that you also need to have an active Expressentry profile. So they also pick as per labor market requirements. This talks about the jobs in demand. If your job is very, very high in demand, you always have good opportunities. So that is how this Ontario works. Job offer and connection to the province is not really a requirement, but they prefer candidates with job offer. Do you understand what that means, guys? That is, it's not compulsory for you to have a job offer in order to apply for this Ontario PNP. But if you have it, you have an added advantage. And this connection they are talking about, they are trying to say if you have relatives, very close relatives, they also said it's not compulsory, but if you have close relatives there, it will give you an added advantage. So that is how Ontario works. This is very similar to Saskatchewan. Well, we are coming to that. The next one is Saskatchewan. Most persons find it difficult to call that name. Anyways, I love to talk about Saskatchewan because I currently reside in Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan Immigration Nominee Program, also known as SIMP, is the most popular provincial nominee programs that you can think of. The reason being that most outsiders actually can apply for provincial nominee program, and in most cases it is successful. Like the route, I always say it, the route which we use in coming to Canada is this same SIMP. So if I'm saying SIMP, you know the name is long. I can't be saying Saskatchewan Immigration. So when I say SIMP, I'm actually talking about Saskatchewan Immigration Nominee Program. So we came in through that route, and let me tell you, even before I read what I have here, we didn't have a job offer and we didn't have any relative in Canada when we did our own SIMP. And look at it now, we are here. So you don't need a job offer, although having a job offer can give you an advantage, but you really don't need a job offer in this program. and even relatives, either close or just friends. You don't really need those requirements for this program. But if you have, it's still an added advantage. So this works so much like, is it Alberta now? Or sorry, it works more like Ontario. So let's go to what we have here. They have two substreams called the occupation in demand and express entry system. So occupation is in demand is still what we are talking about when you go through that route, although it takes a longer time to get nomination through that route, but definitely you will get nominated if everything works fine, if you have your proper documentation. But we came in through the express entry stream route. So previously, if you score 60 points as per SIMP points grid system, you will have fair chances of nomination. Yeah. But the system changes now. You will now need to, compete with other applicants. So that's what most people have been talking about recently, that, Joy, when you guys came, it was not like this, it was easier. Now, there's no expression of interest. Yes, truly in our own time, there was no EOI, there was no expression of interest. Just get your 60 points and you'll be selected. In our own time, we got 67 over 100. But the cutoff point as at then was 60 points, and above. So in the express entry substream, you must have EE profile. For some provinces, it has to just be through the express entry route. But for SIMP, you have the option of express entry and the non-express entry. But definitely, the express entry own takes a shorter time compared to the non-express entry. In this OID substream, you do not need to have express entry profile, and a CLB of 4 will get you eligible for this OID. CLB of 4 is almost achievable by anybody, except you did not even sit for the exam. In case you don't know what I'm talking about, CLB is related to your language tests. So if you can get a CLB of 4, you are eligible, and you will still need to, score that 90 points. Sorry, did I say 90? 60 points in the grid assessment. So how does this work? Like I said, there's so much to say about this SIMP. So this is how it works. You will need to first create your account for your expression of interest. Then you will now be ranked among others. Just the way we have the express entry pool, that is how this works. So when you create your EOI account, you will be ranked among all in the pool. So those who got the higher points will be invited first. Then those who scored maybe minimum of 60 points will also be invited, although maybe not selected among the first ones. So, but they will still be invited. And then if your knock is in demand in SIMP, just apply. Just apply, because they also work based on that. Then the issue about this, that's the other side of this SIMP, is the fact that you need to go through licensure if your occupation is regulated. So if you have a regulated occupation in SIMP, you may need to go get your license before continuing, because it's a requirement. We did it too. My husband studied engineering, so he needed to get his license first before continuing with the whole provincial nominee process. So we got our license August, and then he submitted it September. We got nominated. That same September, we got ITA, that's invitation to apply. October 12th, we applied. I can't even forget. Since 2018, I can't even forget. So October 12th precisely, we applied for permanent residency. So that's just the other side of this SIMP. But if your profession or your occupation is not regulated, then you may just need to go straight ahead, okay? And another thing is that in getting this licensure, you can't really determine how long it will take you. depending on how you can quickly submit. Some licensing will require you to write exams. Like in our own case, my husband would have written exam if he didn't have enough working experience. But my husband, as I then, had about 7 years of engineering working experience, so the confirmatory exam was waived. But had it been he didn't have enough working experience, then he may then write the exam. So that's also another thing, and you really don't know how long it will take you. So that's really what makes SIMP process longer than other provinces, or longer than the PNP of other provinces. I know you get my point. So let's go to the next one, which is Nova Scotia. So Nova Scotia is by far the best and the friendliest PNP. Most persons have said that so much. That is why in one of my videos, I talked about the 5 best provinces to look out for, maybe when you're thinking of immigrating. I mentioned Nova Scotia because I've always heard it that it's friendly. Those in Nova Scotia and you are watching this video, maybe you can say more things about Nova Scotia, but based on what I've read and what I've heard about it from some persons, they said it's a very friendly province. So the drawback is that they have limited OID list. That's the occupation in demand list. You will need to have your EE profile first. So basically, almost all these provinces require you to create your Expressentry profile first before going ahead. So Nova Scotia is not an exception. So what you will do is just to go to their site and see the list of their OID jobs. I know, yes, things like this are usually reviewed. So they take out some, they add some, but in most cases, they usually add to the list. Okay, so you need to score 67 points to qualify for this. How do you go about it? You will just go to their website, that's the Nova Scotia website, and you will fill the application guide there, which is very simple to understand. They open intake throughout the year and take limited applications. As per previous intakes and as of today, it is first come, first served basis. So when the intake opens, it is very hard to apply because of website traffic. Most persons are already waiting, and it is also good to check out the trend. You know, like Expressentry draws, we know that ideally it is usually every 2 weeks they conduct draws. So you will always look out for the time they will conduct draw. That is exactly what you should do for this Nova Scotia. That is if you are looking at applying through Nova Scotia PNP. So you will have to look at the trend when they open their portal now, and you will quickly apply. There will definitely be traffic because people are waiting, and then their application process for PNP seems to be easy. Okay, but recently they started a new stream called Labor Market Priorities. In this stream, selected knocks will be picked directly from the EE pool. I'm very, very much aware of that. They made life easy, so make sure you have your documents, and it's also based on your job in demand. If you have, especially those in the tech, they are really the ones getting this thing. So if you have your job in demand, you've already put all your documents. So whenever they want to select, they go to the Expressentry pool and select those that are very, very qualified. Okay, they select those that are qualified. So that's also another way they select people. The next province is Quebec. Some persons call it Quebec, but I think the actual pronunciation is Quebec because it's a French province. They do more of French than English. That is not to say they don't speak English there, but it's more like a French province. And before I go into the PNP part, they do their immigration thing differently from other provinces. They run their separate programs, they do things just differently. And the good thing about this province is that job offer or connection to the province is not required. Do you know that lately, most of my friends have been going to that province? You know, what really affects people is the fact that they will need to get a job offer and close connection to that province. But if these two requirements are not mandatory, then you can quickly get your provincial nomination in that province. You have to apply through their website. So you need to check their website, and their preference is francophones. So if you have a good knowledge of French, you see, this French is worth learning if you have not learned it. If you want to be in Canada, just have a good knowledge of French. You might not see the importance now, but over time you will know. You will know that French is really, really needed in this country. That is not to say they don't speak English. In fact, generally they speak English, but if you can speak or communicate in French, even if it's a little on peu, then c'est bon. You want me to start speaking French? Don't worry. I will speak when it's time. Just watch out. A time will come, I will just do this video in French. I know most places are looking out for that. It will happen. So these are the provinces I can talk about now as per their provincial nominee program requirements. Kindly check them out and see which one is very feasible for you. Then you can now apply, because information is power. There is no need to jump into one province and you start doing the PNP without having a prior knowledge about that province. So like I said, most provinces have different CRS score requirements. You need to check out for that. Most provinces will tell you job offer is a must, while some will tell you it's not a must, but if you have it, it's an added advantage. Some will tell you connection to the province, while some will tell you it is not compulsory. Some will tell you to have an Expressentry profile before applying for PNP. I believe this video has been helpful. If you did gain something from this video, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and don't also forget to subscribe if you are just joining this channel. And if you are subscribed already, you know I always do appreciate you. See you all in my next video. Bye.